God, and Pedro Pascal as Marcus Acacius. General Marcus Acacius. What's up, my boos, and welcome back. Today, I will be going over my top 10 2024 movies, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. Starting off with number 10, we have Miller's Girl. Now, let me go ahead and say this. I'm still confused about the ending. I couldn't tell if it was real or not. Like, is this something that was in her mind? Like, was they toying with us? Because I could not simply tell if she was imagining this or if this was real life. Not to mention, though, that movie was steamy. It was real steamy. There was drama in it. Once it got to a point where doo-doo was hitting the fan, it was diarrhea, it was splattering, it was just going everywhere. Because when the man lost his job, I feel like that's when you've gone a little too far with this whole thing. Even though I was low-key rooting for this relationship between Jenna Ortega and Martin Freeman's characters. Listen, I don't condone cheating, okay? Absolutely not. And I don't condone having an affair. My thing is, the poor man's marriage, it was dying. It was dead. It was in ICU. It was getting close to being into hospice, and we know what hospice is. It was about to be dead in the water, but again, when it got to a point where his job was on the line, no, like, Miss Ma'am, just back away. Just let it, like, y'all are gonna have to part ways. I know it's hard because y'all had that connection. Y'all had that connection when it came to literature, and y'all just started falling for each other. There was, it was getting, intensity in the room, but in a good way. Let me shut up and move on. All in all, this movie was definitely great. Jenna Ortega and Martin Freeman, y'all did amazing with y'all's performances. Number 9, we got Maxine. Girl. If you did not watch A24's X and Pearl, please go watch this. But if you want to watch it in the correct order, like they say, watch Pearl, then watch X, and then watch Maxine. That's what I was told. But me, I just watched X, Pearl, then Maxine, and I was still able to hold on to it. But everybody's different. You do what you want to do. Maxine had that 80s tone to it, and I absolutely loved it. Mia Goth, girl, the energy she brought to this movie, the energy she brought to all of the movies, all 3 of them. From like the manic screaming to the manic crying with a smile on her face and Pearl. That woman just has pure talent. But the way they shot Maxine, it was like that classic 80s slasher movie. Like, you cannot go wrong with that. There's this one scene, though, in Maxine, and I can't get too much into it. I'm just gonna say this. She stomps on a man's hot dog, if you catch my drift, with her pointy heel. Basically, there's this man that's chasing Maxine down the alley, right? And he's trying to rob her and do whatever else. And she has a on her, right? She tells this man to get on his knees, right? Oh my God, she had him stripped down. And the hot dog was out. The hot dog was out. And she goes up to him. He's on the ground, right? The hot dog is on the ground. And she stomps her heel into it. And they show it too, like, clear as day, and you see, and I'm like, hey, what can I say? You mess around and find out. Alright, next up for number 8, we have A Quiet Place, Day 1. Not only this movie was about survival, but it also had a little bit of emotion into it, as far as appreciating the things that we have before, they're gone. One of the scenes that I enjoyed the most was the scene where Lupita and Joseph's characters are in this dark apartment. There's no power, and it's like storming outside. They're both sharing their stories of grief and whatnot, and at one point during the scene, both Lupita and Joseph's characters just let out the biggest scream once loud thunder was striking. The way they were just getting out all that pain, that grief, that agony, the frustration. But also they were doing it to a point where they were not going to attract the aliens that can track them by sound. Another scene that I really could relate to was that Joseph's character was going through a panic attack and they're in the water and he's trying so hard to calm down, and he's trying with all his might, and he cannot. Anxiety is definitely no joke, especially coming from somebody that has had it for a long time, and I've gotten better at maintaining it. But in that scene, having a panic attack and you're trying not to make too much noise because you don't want to attract the aliens that can hear you and they track you by sound and they know where you're at if they make contact with you because you made noise. Oh my god, I felt so bad for him. And we cannot forget the iconic scene where they finally found pizza. And yes, it may not have been as good as they thought it would have been, but it's the little things like that count, that you really gotta appreciate in life. All right, coming up at number 7, we got Late Night with the Devil. Now this one, oh my god. Okay, let's start out with the fact that they went with the grindhouse, 70s type filming. I appreciated that so much. The retro look, and the fact that they did such a good job making this seem like it was such a true story. The fact that they gave Jack Delroy a literal backstory and depth. Because, when the movie first starts, they go basically through his entire life, and I'm like, is this a real person? Even though I know it's not, but it's like, it's putting me in that mindset. Like, and seeing David Dastmalchian, I hope I'm saying his last name right, forgive me if I don't, but for him to take on this leading role, because I've never seen him take on a lead role like this, and he knocked it out the park for sure. And I also enjoyed how they switched from color to black and white throughout the film. Color, you're watching the show happen. Backstage, it goes to black and white, like it's going into like some type of documentary / found footage type filming. And when I tell you, I did not see that ending coming. The ending was what turned me every which way but loose. Because as I'm watching him go over this over and over again on loop, I'm like, oh, okay. No. You know what I mean? And the girl they was doing the exorcism on in the chair, When I tell you, I was ready to snatch a wig, if needed. Alright, at number 6, we have The Substance. I watched this movie recently, and I'm still traumatized. I've watched a lot of body horror and horror movies in general, but for this one, The Substance, for some reason, I guess because the message that's being sent from this movie on how women in the entertainment industry are treated. When it comes to, oh, you have an expiration date. You're too old to do this now. You're too old to continue your career. You know what? Public service announcement to all my women who are in the entertainment industry, acting, whatever. Know this. Do not let anybody, especially a crappy man, tell you have an expiration date on your career. No, ma'am. As long as you got the talent, that's all that matters. All right. Age is natural, and it's going to happen. Do not care what these other people say. Oh, you too old to act. You too old. No. Cut all that out. Baby, you're going to be beautiful now, and you're going to be beautiful later on. It don't matter. Love yourself and maintain that confidence. Anyway, but with The Substance, honestly, I felt so bad for Demi Moore's character. She looked amazing, by the way. All the times that she was looking in the mirror in the movie, I'm like, girl, you look fine. You look amazing. Come on. It's just so sad how certain women in the entertainment industry have to carry such societal pressure, all because of age. Now me, when I get older, the love I have for myself, the confidence I have for myself, the talent I have in myself, that ain't going away, baby. I will be maintaining that. It's never going to leave the building. Never going to leave the building at all. I'm just so glad Demi Moore won a Golden Globe for this. Girl, bravo. Keep going. And another thing that traumatized me, one, all the blood that was spraying everywhere. I was getting Carrie meets Blade vibes for some reason. And oh my god, the glob, the monstro. I can't get it out of my head. Oh, and it's so sad at the same time too. And I loved that a woman directed this movie. She did a great job orchestrating the story and how it should be told. Alright, number 5, we have The Wild Robot. This was so cute. This was a cute movie. I cried. Okay, I bawled my eyes out. I think 2 times, 3 times. I'm emotional. What can I say? My favorite character was Fink. Oh my god. Fink was so... He was petty. He was a big back. He was sassy. He was cuddly too. He was so cuddly. And you know, he was loving as well in his own little way. The part that made me cry was when Bright Bill had to fly away for hibernation. And he had to leave Roz. He had to leave Roz the robot. It tore me up because, you know, it's like a mother letting go of their child. Just gotta let them spread their wings. Mind you, later on, Fink, played by Pedro Pascal, had me cracking up when they had to save the animals during the winter blizzard. When Fink was digging up snow and found an animal, and the animal saw it was Fink, and the animal was being rude to him, Fink was like, never mind, this one's dead. Fink was like, you know what, alright, I'm a match energy. It was just a magical movie, and everybody played their part so beautifully. Number 4, we got Long Legs. Oh, honey, and before we start, let me tell you something. I'm a huge Nicolas Cage fan. In this movie, he raged it out. You know, he busts the scale. He, you know, am I being too much? I don't care. When I tell you I quote some of Nicolas Cage's characters' lines from this movie, I don't know why, I find it so funny. Or what about, hold on. Cuckoo. Hold on, this one's my favorite. And let me in now, and it can be nice. Just the man, he showed up and showed out. He did not care. Mind you, I met one of the actresses from the movie. Her name is Alicia Witt. She played Lee Harker's mother. And I asked her, what was it like working with Nicolas Cage? She said when he came on set, he was in character the whole time. And she's like, he was just weird, but you know, in character, and not in a bad way, but in character in a good way. The man never broke character. The way he walked, the way he spoke, it was just, I would have loved to have been in the room. And she also said how he really commits to his roles. He really commits to his work. And another thing I learned about him was that he does not take his work home with him. He leaves the role in the studio, wherever they're filming at. He leaves it there. He does not take it home with him. I think that is so cool. It also helps with his mental as well. It doesn't take a toll on his mental health. He doesn't let it get to him that way. And that's really something that is so important with acting. Just do not take that character role home with you, especially if it's like a psychological one, because it can just really take a toll on you, and we don't want to do that. And can we talk about Nicolas Cage's makeup in that movie, by the way? That face card was giving middle-aged 80s rock star reject. That was botched up. So, to the makeup department, you need to raise. All in all, I loved how the movie was shot as well, and the different filters and the color schemes that they were using. And I cannot wait to see Micah Monroe in more projects. Number 3, we have Nosferatu. I'm gonna go ahead and say this movie had such beautiful cinematography. And I read up that they had to use a custom lens to where they wanted to have the black and white aspect, but also keep color in as well. So like tone down the saturation, but not all the way. Oh my god, and the way Bill Skarsgård just stays being unrecognizable when he takes on these kind of roles. Not only that, I am obsessed with doing the Count Orlok voice, by the way. You have 3 nights. Upon the 3rd night, you will be mine. That poor decaying vampire sound like he needed an inhaler. But don't get me wrong, I loved the voice. I loved the voice Bill Skarsgård came up with for Count Orlok. Not only that, I want to talk about how Willem Dafoe showed up later on and just came in with all of the energy. Willem Dafoe is another actor I am such a huge fan of. When it comes to dramatic roles, Willem Dafoe is going to deliver you what you want, okay? And you will not see it coming. I'm gonna tell you what Willem Dafoe brought the energy in this movie was that one scene where the freaking grave house is on fire and he's just like this and he's just, giving it all with the dialogue and giving so much energy, manic, just, losing it. And I'm like, there's the Willem Dafoe I know. And Lily Rose Depp, I can't forget about you, girl. Your father is so proud of you. The extensions she went through to give such an emotional performance like this, especially when it came to the scenes where they had to do an exorcism on her. Lily Rose Depp, I'm giving you your flowers, honey. Next up, number 2, we have Baby Girl. This film has many layers of meaning to it. And when I say Nicole Kidman, you did amazing, girl. I'll give you the recognition. And Harry Dickinson, sir, the father figure scene, that will forever be in our hearts. There's just, it's emotional, Ooh. I stay catching myself doing that dance, and I love it. By the way, did y'all see Pedro Pascal doing that dance? Doing his own version of the father figure dance, channeling his baby girl movie energy. Honey, let me tell you, I have a thing for Pedro Pascal, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. But with Baby Girl, and one of the meanings that I'll discuss is the fact that when it comes to being in a relationship, where it's a marriage or just a relationship, communication is always key. When it comes to being in a relationship, I feel that everybody's needs has to be met. It's what keeps the relationship alive. Yeah, communication, having each other's back, having a connection, by all means, yes. But when it comes to, being in the bedroom, and I'm going to just keep it clean, there has to be chemistry there. Because there has to be spice to keep the relationship alive. And when the chemistry in the bedroom is great, fine, great, everybody's happy. But when it starts to decline, that's when a conversation, communication needs to be had. And you need to let your partner know, okay, listen, I'm not feeling the spice. I want us to work on this. And you just tell them, what you're really looking for, what you're wanting. Everything is fine if they, okay, be like, oh, yes, let's do this. I want to work on this. I want to keep the spice alive in our relationship. And the thing is, in the film, she does voice that to her husband, what she wants. She's done it many times, and he does not want to do it. And to me, I feel like the fact that she had to step out for you to pay attention finally, that's what I got out of it. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I got out of it. And, yes, I felt bad for him because, he had a broken heart, the husband. He had a broken heart. When she finally told him, yes, I'm been seeing this intern, and, I've had these desires ever since, I was born. I was born with this, I've tried to get rid of it, and she just can't. This is who she is. But I just think it's kind of messed up that it took for her to step out for the husband to step up in the end. And I'm not bashing him at all. Don't take it that way. I just feel like do not wait till it's too late. By all means, like I said, I don't condone cheating or having an affair. I am happy that they chose to work on their marriage at the end of the movie, but if I'm being so honest with you, Nicole Kidman's character is still going to be thinking about Samuel. They showed it. They kept showing glimpses of Samuel in the hotel room, and that's basically showing that she's thinking about him while her and her husband are doing the do. But all in all, I love this film. I thought it was beautiful. And finally, number 1, my darlings, it's going to be Gladiator 2. Oh, what a film, what a film. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know right now, I am a sucker for mythology. Oh my God, I went crazy for Ben-Hur. I went crazy for the Odyssey. Just during my high school days, when I took Latin 1, Latin 2, I completely fell in love with mythology. And the dialogue that is spoken in this movie, especially like from Paul Mescal and Pedro Pascal, and Denzel wanted everybody in the movie. The scene where Paul Mescal as Lucius is just quoting poetry. The gates of hell are open night and day. And when Denzel Washington as Macronus did that laugh with that smile, he was like, ha, 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 ha. I'm like, that was Alonzo from Training Day, honey. Oh my God. And Pedro Pascal as Marcus Acacius. General Marcus Acacius. Pedro, my darling, you look good in this film. And your acting, the way you changed your voice. My favorite scene in this movie with him is where he gets captured by Emperor Gaeta and Caracalla. Emperor Gaeta, torture me if you want, but do not lecture me. Or what about, you damn me. I don't care. Everything is forgotten in time. Empires fall, and so do emperors. You ate with that. I mean, I got the script, for God's sakes. But I've watched this film 2 times in the theater and 3 times at home, and I will not stop watching it over and over again. It is just a beautiful masterpiece. I hold it so close to my heart, especially when it comes to the acting aspect of it. And Pedro Pascal, honey, what a man. What a man. The love I have for that man. That is a man that respects women. He is humble. He cares about human rights. Shall I go on? But anyways, that is it for my top 10 2024 movies. I hope you enjoyed me explaining such catalog. And dare I say it, Pedro Pascal. His character did deserve better in Gladiator 2. But we shall honor him. Strength and honor. With that being said, much love to you. Take care of yourself and stay hydrated, my boos. Bye-bye.